We have waited long enough to get this untold story done, so let's hit it.
Gather around.
I remember a particular day.
It's the Untold Stories
You can be in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Like the night I ran over Andy Preston in the car park.
of footballers past.
Now, Damo, where are we going?
Well, we're going to go back to 1991 and 1992 when a certain big profile, big character was captain coaching a club in the
Damo.
then VFA.
Not Brittle.
Hang on.
Already wandering.
Oh, wow. No.
Brian,
I haven't said it's you yet, Brian, but it is you.
Damo, I'm the only captain coach in the box, all right?
You are.
Only
Now, Brian,
by the way,
you
he
can't-
named himself captain.
Yeah. After you were deputy vice at Collingwood.
Never
You
been
can't
captain.
keep jumping in while Damo's going to tell a story.
This is why we had to go down a
What's
certain
the story
path for that.
about?
It's involving your larger-than-life 2 years in that particular role.
Yes.
As
What's
Brown.
it specifically about, Smarty Pants?
It's dealing with the frustrations you had as coach and captain
All right,
of
go on
that
for a minute.
struggling.
Go on.
It was the VFA beat I was doing at the time, Jim.
Yes.
There was people like Brian, Trevor Barker, Barry Rand was still there, Billy Swan was playing, but only one man had the profile that this man had at Toorak
Bristol
Park.
was the big one.
There was a news event that I was made aware of
Oh, Damo.
in the year...
Look at
listen.
Yes.
Damo,
Oh,
I have told you for the last
Brian.
since 1991 that this is not true. This is just a made-up, flimsy
I haven't said anything
operational
yet.
it's a
story.
big investigation he's done on this.
I'm telling you now.
It's taken me 27 years to get to this moment, and I'm not backing away.
Who is it?
And
It involves...
I have legal people.
Brian, sit
that-
down.
I have dealt with your legal threats seriously over the years. I am now going to ignore them.
Righto.
Sit
And
down.
What I've done...
If you do what I think
There was a
you're gonna do-
person who does have a conscience.
Well, if it's-
His name
See
is...
this antenna here? There's going to be belted on your head.
Well, if it's true, you've got nothing to worry about.
No, so his name is John Clarkson,
true.
Jim. He was the runner. Who? The runner. For
I've heard of
Brian
him.
Taylor at Paran back in 1991
Right.
and 1992.
And?
You are about to hear a man who's got a conscience, unlike the captain coach of the time.
Who is he?
His name's John Clarkson. I had to speak to him yesterday because I knew you would
He
stop
wasn't
this
my
interview.
runner.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was.
I don't remember him.
Yes.
And he takes us through a practice which is very, very questionable that you asked him and others at the football club to do back in 1991. John Clarkson.
Be very careful.
John, it's always intrigued me, this story, as I've said over a number of years, and it's going to be, I think, enjoyable to finally bring some light and shed some proper light onto what did go on at the Paran Football Club under Brian Taylor's time as coach there. You were the runner of the footy club. You would have seen 1,000 things and probably 999 things you can't talk about, but you are prepared today to talk about what I've always been intrigued about, and that is the wiring up of the opposition rooms there at Toorak Park when he was coach of the Paran Footy Club. What is it you're able to tell us about that scenario, please?
Oh, the great man. He always had a point of difference. There's no doubt about that. Back in that era, he'd come from his illustrious career at Collingwood and there was captain coach at Paran, which is, as you know, a dying breed now. So it was a different era, obviously about 30 years ago. So you did a few more experimental things that probably is not the norm now. But we worked on a theory. We're coming up against who were our nemesis, to say the least. They'd given us a fair caning first time round. So I thought we've got to have a point of difference here. BT sitting out of the goal square. Communication's always a little bit of an issue. So what do? So unlike the KGB, because we certainly weren't that advanced with our technology, we thought, well, we need to get a bit of intel with what's going on so we can prepare the best. So we did record a little bit of information from their pre-game situation when the coach was addressing the players. So we actually laid it out beautifully. We had all the game plan, we had all the manoeuvres, we had all the matchups. We went absolutely swimmingly, except we had a minor detail at quarter time. We were 6 goals down.
So let me just take this back a few steps. You said that you decided to record something. How did we go about this? When was the plan hatched to actually put some bugs into the opposition room?
But basically at match committee, because we knew we were up against it. But basically they were better than us, so we needed to get some sort of competitive advantage, and we knew we couldn't do it on the field, so we thought the conspiracy theories alive and well. We probably wouldn't get away with it now. We certainly wouldn't try it now, but they were different times. They were fun times. They were adventurous times.
They're experimental times by the sound of it.
Experimental times, and no ego with BT, so we tried to do everything and lay it bare.
I'm intrigued by this. The actual devices themselves, what were they?
Not exactly high technology. like a little speaker, basically. Like you'd be able to buy for about $5 at JB Hi-Fi now. So they certainly wouldn't be what you'd call state-of-the-art technology at all.
And so you put these into the room in a discreet manner where they weren't obvious to anyone just breezing into the room?
Well, Damo, the reality is that they weren't that bloody discreet, I can assure you. So if you were doing any surveillance, we certainly wouldn't have got any brownie points or any 10 out of 10 votes for what we did. It wasn't the greatest of surveillance, I can assure you.
And was coach of the time, and as you said before, you're able to hear what he had with his plans and his preparation for that particular game that day, and off you went.
He decked it out beautifully. He had every run through whirl. He had everything planned in terms of rotations. He's an extremely professional coach. He had it set up beautifully. He knew who our key targets were. He knew our setups, the matchups, the whole thing. And as I said, going in it, we had all the intel, but it didn't help us one iota. Now, whether it was BT couldn't coach, which is also questionable, but I'm sure that's not the case with his own theory. He actually went okay. But we had what we thought was a talented group of blokes that nowhere near as talented as what they were.
Did you do it any other games or just this one?
No, well, after we had such rating success at that one, Dano, probably we put that cue in the rack and as a result won the next three.
Okay. Just on this too, because I've been chipping away at this story, he got wind of you potentially having some awareness about this and that I may contact you at some stage, and you managed to bump into each other some time ago and you might have got a little thread about talking about this, is that right?
Well, the great man mentioned to me actually a couple of years ago down at the West Coast, which he runs. He's virtually the mayor of Warren down there. So he mentioned that it might get a little bit of an honourable mention down the line. But no harm was done. No threat.
Well, I hope you survive being able to speak about this today, John, and that the next time you do see him, that you do survive with your life intact.
Thanks, Dane. I appreciate it. I'm sure BT will take it, as he always does, with no ego involved, in the right manner.
And just to back over this, so there's no ambiguity about what happened here. He bugged the dressing room of an opposition before he played the game in the VFA.
I'm sure he'll verify it, don't I?
John, thanks for your time, mate.
Bristle!
Wow.
He's down tools, by the way.
He's gone. He's stalled.
Bristle,
You have legitimately cheated.
what are we dealing with?
You bugged
Brian.
You bugged an opposition coach's
What?
box.
Brian.
This
27 years in the making, that story,
extraordinary,
Brian.
Bristle.
That is a massive story. That could be front page.
Just a couple of minor things.
That could be front page.
what are they?
I have never heard of John Clark. And secondly, I totally refute and deny all of your
Of course.
allegations.
They're not allegations, Brian.
They're
This has been
allegations.
27 years, layer upon layer upon
This
layer,
could be a
of being prepared to go with this
massive
story.
They're unproven.
You bugged
could
on
be
the
a-
match committee.
On his feet, Bristle. He's up
Yeah.
and on his
This
feet.
could be a huge story tomorrow.
I'm telling
be
you
front
now,
page.
Yeah.
Damo, there are going to be repercussions over this.
There will be. You might be disbarred.
You have just
You might lose your radio
Might
license.
never
Yeah,
be able to coach again.
you have just
Brian.
given a untrue story, untold story.
I've told him.
Bristle, how are you using this information when you're a captain coach
Listen.
and you're on the ground? How is it getting to you to be
Did
used?
you have an earpiece in back then?
No.
I deny that I was involved in any such allegation. I don't know who John Clarkson is,
You-
and it's even debatable as to whether I was the coach at that time.
You had little speakers in their rooms.
How little was
I'm technology illiterate, Bill. I don't know how to do any. I can't wire my own speakers at home.
You ordered the wiring up of speakers
Brian.
in the opposition room.
JB Hi-Fi.
I nearly went with this story at the time, and I didn't. I
And the
feel
reason
better.
why you didn't is because it wasn't true.
I had to get it right. I had to get it
wasn't
right. I did
This is a massive story.
It's not, Duck, and don't keep winding things up. And for any little
Front page.
nosy knowing
Front page.
journo out there that's thinking about getting a bit of clickbait, this is a bit of fun from
Hey,
Damo,
no,
I think,
no.
because
Hey,
it
Boyle.
wasn't true.
I'll put my name to this story being
Do
true.
not write, because this is
There's only
not
one thing I can say is, boy, oh boy.
Wow,
Wow.
Don't, no, listen, Duck.
This is a big
This
story.
this is a serious allegation. Don't be such a smart.
Hey, and you didn't even win
Rum.
the. You didn't even win the game.
And you over there throwing grenades from the stands over there.
Big
the fact
story.
that they didn't win the game probably makes it a less story.
Untrue.
Right, here we are for Coates Hire, as I said, Triple M footy preview. And a big preview coming next. Triple M